Well, it is midday of October 14th. Didn't hunt this morning. I'm gonna get this tree stand moved right here. I've got a spot over in Cherry Ridge that is gonna be perfect for this. It's kind of like a high spot in the knoll right where the trail splits to go to the hidey hole food plot versus a staging plot. There's just been a ton of deer that have been traveling back and forth right there, and be a great spot. There's been a group of does that go through there almost every single day. Be a great spot to sit with a recurve or bow or whatever and whack a doe. So we're gonna get this stand moved. Where it's at right now, there is nothing big buck wise going on whatsoever. So it's kind of a wasted spot with it right now, but we're gonna get it moved. I might see a huge rub right now, actually. Let's go check out this rub. Looks like a giant rub. Got a cell cam with me too in case we want to put one up. Holy crap. Look at that. That's a deer that's got some pretty good brow tines. That is super fresh too. It almost looks like the tree's still bleeding from it a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a cell cam and stick it right here. I want to know what deer did that. We're still gonna move this stand out of here, but we're gonna put a cell cam right here so we can see what's going on. Well, this is how we're hauling it out of here. It's not ideal, but all these connections are seized together. They're like, you know, the stand it's supposed to come apart, but it is not coming apart. And rather than sit here and bang on it, we're just gonna accept the fact that it's one piece, and I just ratcheted it to the top of the Honda, and we're gonna let her fly like this. Working pretty good so far. Okay, so I'm thinking we're gonna go right in here with it, but I'm trying to decide which, if I want to be on the back side, the one in the back to give me cover with those two front maples right there. Or no, that's not a maple. I might have enough cover just with having a good backing, you know, even if I had the stand facing the front here. We'll get it in there and just see what it looks like first thing. Well, there we have it. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim some of the tips of this stuff, get it opened up so I can shoot through it, and then we're gonna be all ready to roll. Well, we made it out here to get some of these hanging vine scrapes freshened up below the barn and checked all these cameras. I was curious as to what was going to be on them with that rub that was over here, but still nothing special at all. Blackie's spending a lot of time in here hitting the scrape, but nothing that I would shoot. Nothing mature yet, unfortunately. I'm sure something will eventually show up down here that'll be possibly worth hunting, but as of right now, we're striking out. We've got an extra crew member with us checking cameras here.
He's sleeping through his first ever gator ride.
Yep, he took his bear costume out in case we ran into a bear. They'd think he's just a cub.
Yeah.
Kelly just had a butter explosion.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
She put a whole half a stick of butter in there, and
A whole half a stick?
a whole half a stick of butter, and we came back and there's butter everywhere.
Must be it got too hot.
Would you have it on high?
No, had it on low.
Well, there could be much worse things splattered all over the kitchen than butter.
Like what?
Grease or maple would stick to everything.
Well, babe, I hate to break it to you, but butter is pretty greasy.
A good grease, though. I'm out.
Okay, good luck.
See you in a few hours. I'll try to provide for you.
Yeah.
We're heading in, everybody. It's the evening of October 14th, and I'm hunting below the farm for the first time this year. This is the very woods that grew HLB. Unfortunately, there's nothing like that this year, or anywhere close to it. We're on a doe killing mission tonight. I checked a few trail cameras down here today, and I moved a stand that was in here this morning, and on the camera there's a pretty good amount of does that are coming right out of the corner of this field in the evenings quite often. So I've got the climber in place, and I did make quite a bit of commotion in here moving that stand this morning, so I don't know if that's going to affect them much or not, but we're going to see if we can't put an arrow in a big doe on our way out here to this cover crop. This was all green beans that got harvested, and then they planted this cover crop in here right after the 1st of September. So we'll sneak in here and see what we can't get into. Well, I made it up in the tree, and
this is kind of a unique spot right here. There's about 3 trails that are coming up out of the swamp that meet right here to my right and then go out to the field below the barn here. We have a perfect wind right out of the north blowing right back to the field. So anything that comes up these trails is gonna have no idea I'm even here. One thing that's unique about this particular spot is, if you can tell, I'm only about 8 feet off the ground. I'm really low to the ground, and it's because I'm in the pines here, and if I get any higher, I don't have any visibility. I can't see anything. The other reason I'm right where I'm at is there's a big pine limb that comes off right here on each side, and that's huge because it breaks up my back, gives me back cover. It just looks like a big blob up here, but it looks natural with the 2 big limbs coming out. So a lot of people always think you have to climb 12, 15, 16 feet up in a tree. I hardly ever climb over 10 feet, just being totally honest with you guys. Number 1, I don't like being too high. Number 2, I'm oftentimes don't have a safety harness on, which obviously I agree, you should always have a safety harness on, and I don't think that anybody should be hunting in a tree stand without one. It's just my preference when I'm this close to the ground. I'd rather be able to jump out and land on my feet than hang here like a whatever with a safety harness on. I mean, I could literally hop out of this stand and be totally fine as long as I landed on my feet. But we're gonna sit tight here and hope one of these big does take this trail right out to the field. With that being this low to the ground, you've got to be really careful because you're almost eye level, especially across the swale hole right here. I've got to move a lot less and be careful moving or drawing. When I go to draw my bow, I'll wait till this doe is behind one of these big pines over here. As soon as she walks behind, I'll draw my bow and should be able to get a pretty clean shot at her right here at 20, 25 yards, hopefully. A lot of you guys might remember this log over here, so right there is where HLB was laying. He was laying right there when I shot at him from way up over there. When he was a 3.5-year-old buck, I hit one of those pine branches that are sticking up off that dead pine tree right there on the ground. It nicked one of those branches sticking up, and I grazed his back. That's right where he was bedded, was right there. And it was actually a blessing in disguise, because obviously I killed him as a 4.5-year-old instead the next year. But the shot came from way up there, right to his bed. You can see there's a huge deer trail right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. So there's one of them. And then the other really big one is over here. It goes right down through there. That's where the shot's going to be, I think.
There you have it, everybody. First skunk job of the year. Not one single deer sighting down there. Obviously, I think the commotion in there, taking that stand down and messing around with some trail cameras caused a problem for the deer movement. But we did see some raccoons. That was about it. We're going to get after them in the morning. It looks like it's going to get pretty cool tonight. So plan on hunting in the morning, and we'll bring you that right now.
Homeboy.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the morning of October 15th, and it wasn't my game plan to be hunting the stump 4, but when I left to go hunt this morning, it started raining. I don't like sitting in the rain, especially with this camera equipment, so it's kind of a true north wind, which isn't great for the stump 3. It's not great for the stump 4 either, but if I have anything coming on the trail through the creek, it's perfect. The north wind's going straight away from that, essentially, so hopefully a big doe comes through. That really old heavy 9 was right here early this morning, actually. He walked right in front of my cell camera, so he's bedded in here somewhere. I don't foresee him moving around at all this morning. I'm just looking to possibly have a big doe come through. These mosquitoes are terrible. I've got the 10-point crossbow with me this morning, so it'd be fun to let a big doe have it with that. We'll turn you on if we see anything here. Well, I just took a shot at a big doe. Of course, she was right behind me, next to the creek. I was hoping she was gonna cross the creek and I'd get a shot at her out of the front, but she was right there at about 38 yards. And I had an opening right to her vitals, and I think I smoked her. Honestly, that bolt goes so fast, it's hard to see in real time. I'll have to watch the video and see exactly where it hit her. But she jumped across the creek and then went up the bank, and I never saw her after that, so she might be toast right there. Well, I'm gonna sneak down and go see if I can find that bolt and just take a look at it. On the video, I actually had a better line of sight of the vitals than what the camera did. The camera had some brush and stuff in between, where I was aiming, so you really can't see the impact of the bolt from the angle that I shot it at, if that makes sense. But I'm pretty sure I smoked it. It sounded good, felt good, I was right on it. Let's go down and see if I can find that bolt and look at the blood on it. I was pretty sure she was standing right here. Of course, I can't find the bolt anywhere. I don't see any instant blood either. Yeah, she was right here. She jumped straight into the creek. I'd really like to find this bolt just so I have a more sure. Let's go over here and see if there's any blood where she ran up the bank. Oh, there's the bolt. It's kind of cleaned off. She either went up right there or right here. Boy, I'm really not seeing too much for blood yet. She should be bleeding a lot more than what I'm seeing here, unless the water was just oh yeah, here we go. Yep. She's bleeding like crazy. Spraying blood. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Well, she ran right up that trail and then right over here, and there she is. That's the innie. She was quartered away, so the outie should be right at the front shoulder there. Big old girl. Perfect. Well, the good news is we just have to drag a little ways to get her over to the stump 4, get her on out of here. Well, I got her onto some flat ground. Right there's the innie. Outie should be right up by the shoulder. Oh, in front of the shoulder. Holy cow, she was quartered harder than I even thought. Yeah, she was quartered a little bit more than I even thought she was. She only ran like 30 yards though with that hit. Big old girl. This is number 3. And the best part is I've taken all 3 of them out of this kind of same tract of woods here, which is what I wanted. Well, I got the Honda over here and I decided I'm not gonna actually, I was gonna gut this deer out right here. I'm like, I usually don't care about where I gut them, but this is so close to the stump 4, I don't think it would matter, but we're gonna go gut her over in the brush. I don't want it so close to the stump 4, not that it would matter, but we'll gut her somewhere else so we don't have the guts laying right here. Well, I got her all gutted out and got the tag on it and reported. I wanted to show you guys this. That sinking 125 grain Grim Reaper went clear through the entire diaphragm of the doe and blew right through the point, the ball of her offside shoulder. The power of this thing's pretty incredible. I mean, it blew right through pretty much lengthways the whole body of her and right out the ball of her shoulder on the other side. Ran 30 yards and died. So between the power of that crossbow and that heavy bolt going at over 400 feet per second, didn't stand a chance. We'll go ahead and get her back, and I'm going to donate this one as well. We'll take it to the deer processor and get it donated to people that need it more than Kaylee and I. We got a couple more does to kill, and then I'll be through killing them, and at that point I can have some friends or family come and shoot a few. We've got plenty of deer. People sometimes wonder, why do you shoot all those does? Well, we have to maintain a healthy herd. When you want that buck to doe ratio pretty even, and if you're seeing 5 does to every 1 buck, or even worse, 10 does to every 1 buck, you're in trouble. You've got a lot of managing to do. So it's taken us years to get our herd to where it's at right now, and we're really starting to see the benefits from it. We're starting to see a much more even buck to doe ratio because we're taking all these does, and it makes for a much better rut too. When you don't have all these big does right here in the area, those bucks have to travel a little bit more. They're up on their feet more, they rut harder. Whereas if you have tons of does here, they don't have to travel at all. There's a hot doe behind every bush essentially. So it's working out good for us so far. We'll keep at it. I wanted to show you guys what a pretty view this is from the back of the far plot. About 185 yards from the stump 4 right here. This is all clover and chicory, and then where you see those oats and stuff, that's all harvest salad, where I dug all the stumps out. We've got quite a buffet back here.